This video is about the working model and simulation of 32-point FFT. So basically, FFT is a fast Fourier transform, which is a form of implementation of a discrete Fourier transform. Fourier transform is for the conversion of a time domain signal into a frequency domain signal. The discrete Fourier transform, direct implementation of a discrete Fourier transform has a time complexity of order of n square, which is reduced to order of log n log n with a fast Fourier transform. So basically, in a fast Fourier transform algorithm, the basic idea is that the complete sequence is divided into samples, are divided into two halves, that is odd samples and even samples, and again these odd samples are divided into again the half of odd and even, and so on and so forth. So finally, this is done by observing the properties of periodicity and symmetricity, and from that a butterfly diagram is built, from which the stages or the complexity of the implementation of a DFT can be reduced. So for 32-point FFT, we'll have 5 stages. So this is a generic butterfly diagram, not specific to any point FFT. So basically we have 5 stages for 32 point, because it is log 32, and initially in the first step we'll have the inputs, two inputs taken at a time for a butterfly, and then the two butterflies output, the first two butterflies output are taken and combined with another two butterflies, and so on and so forth. Finally, in the last stage, the final stage, we have the first half, that is the first, here if you can see, the first 8 outputs are taken and combined with the next 8 outputs with the same concept of a butterfly. So in this diagram it is 8 and 8, but for 32 point FFT it will be of 16 and 16. So for that, first we need to understand what order the inputs are to be taken, because the fast Fourier transform can be implemented in two ways, that is decimation in time, that is uh, and decimation in frequency. So basically decimation in time refers to the input, that is a time domain signal, is not in order, rather it is in the rather it is decimated as per the odd and even samples. And decimation in frequency refers to the frequency domain output samples are not in order, or that is, it is the frequency samples are decimated as per even and odd samples. So for that, first we need to understand what order the inputs are to be given, because we are considering the decimation in time. So these are the 32 samples of the input that taken, and this is the even blue one is the even half, and this is odd half, and again it is divided, and again so on and so forth. Completely it is divided, and this is the final order of the inputs that we have to give. That means that let's say we have 32 samples of our input, we have to first give the first sample, and then 17th sample and 9th sample, 20th sample to the second butterfly. This is for the first butterfly, this is for the second butterfly, and so on. So here we have 16 butterflies. That is the first stage, and the outputs from this first outputs from this butterfly and this butterfly are again combined, and similarly the complete butterfly diagram is obtained. So now let's look into the implementation, hardware implementation of this 32 point FFT. So basically here we have the inputs of clock, reset, start, when to start this module, and real and imaginary parts of one of the inputs, and real and imaginary parts of second input. And since the butterfly, the fast Fourier transform of or discrete Fourier transform has Priddle factors to be multiplied with the input samples, and these complete set of inputs multiplied with Priddle factors are again summed up, that is the discrete Fourier transform. So these Priddle factors are factors of e power j into something, so that gives you the complex number, sine cos plus I sine. So and also that the Priddle factor value will be of decimal number, not a whole number, not an integer. So here we have considered the floating point number representation, and also since we have real and imaginary parts, we have taken them separately. So this is the real part floating point number, this is the imaginary part floating point number of first input. Similarly, this is the real and imaginary part of the second input, which is of a floating point. And ARs, these are the four things that for hidden bits of the floating point numbers. And we have this is as the first output, this as a second output, and these are again the hidden bit outputs. So yes, coming to the actual implementation, so initially we have the first in first out thing, the FIFO, which is to control the complete FFT. That is what input samples are to be taken, and when is to be when it is to be enabled and when it is to be disabled. So the FIFO module is actually based on a count of your FFT as well. So next comes the twiddle factor module. So for the twiddle factor module, what is this module is that we store all the twiddle factors required for the implementation of a 32-point FFT. These are the twiddle factors required and are all stored in the registers, declared as registers. And from this twiddle factor module, once we give the address, depending upon the address, the two data, you will be getting two data, that is one is sine and one is cos, twiddle cos and twiddle sine. Because we are processing real and imaginary separately, we have separate imaginary and real parts over here. So now how do we get this address of this twiddle factor? So here we have this twiddle factor module instantiated, and here we have the address that is to be given to the twiddle factor. So how do you generate that address is basing on the twiddle count. So what is this count twiddle model is that uh, depending upon the stage you are in, first stage or second stage or third stage as in these are the stages, that is if you are in first stage, what is the count of the twiddle factor that you need to consider. And if you are in final stage, you have the twiddle factors, if you have observed, only in the lower half. So similarly, for counting the proper twiddle factor address, we will be using the count twiddle module. And once we get the twiddle factor address, that is given for this twiddle factor module, and we get our data, that is twiddle temp 1 and twiddle temp 2. And once we get the twiddle temp 1 and twiddle temp 2, we have our cos value, sine value, actual values, which are taken and processed by the butterfly. So what is this butterfly module does is that it takes two inputs, TR, TI are the twiddle factor inputs, and these are the hidden bits for that. Butterfly has three inputs basically. So yes, AR, AI as one input, BR, BI as one input, and TR and TI is the twiddle factor input. So butterfly has three inputs, for which all these Z parts are the hidden bits representation, and the twiddle factor has two outputs. So A1R, A1I is the first output, B1R, B1I is the second output. And since as we have seen that FFT can be implemented two ways, that is decimation in time and decimation in frequency. Here we are considering decimation in time, wherein initially the twiddle factor is multiplied with one of the inputs, and then that is taken and either added or subtracted. But in decimation in frequency, what happens is that instead of multiplying with the twiddle factor in the input, the inputs are added or subtracted, and then that is taken and multiplied. So this is a basic difference. So here this is the implementation of a decimation in time butterfly. So once we have a butterfly, we can process each stage, because in each stage we have particular set of butterflies. Like for example, 32-point FFT, we will be having 16 2-point butterflies in the initial stage. Yes, that is what we have seen in the Excel sheet. So this is for the initial set of input. So here we have, this is for one butterfly, this is for one butterfly, and so on. And our output will be, the final output will be in order, that is y0 to Why 32? So now let's see the test bench of this 32 point FFT. So here we have registered the inputs, and the outputs are wired, and these are the initial start, reset and clock conditions that are to be considered, and these are the set of inputs that we have taken. This is for the clock toggling for every 10 nanoseconds, and this is the instantiation of our top module. Now this is the screenshot of the uh, simulated FFT32 module. So this is simulated in Vivado. So now let's see whether this is equivalent to the MATLAB simulation. So here I have taken the MATLAB module with same set of inputs that I have given for direct FFT. So here we can see that. So I'll just run this code. So here we have 32 output values over here, and yes, basically here if we can observe A1R, A1I, B1R, B1I, we have two outputs from butterfly, right? So that is why we have four set of values. This is 93.99 is the real part of one output, and 3.64 is the imaginary part of one output. So similarly we have this is first, and next cycle we get A1R, A1I. In the next cycle will be the second output, and so on so forth. So finally we have 32 outputs. The 32nd output will be shown at B1R, B1I in the 16th clock cycle. So initial, basically A1R, A1I shows 16 outputs, and B1R, B1I shows the next 16 outputs. So let us verify that from the MATLAB results. So the first 94 plus 0I, which is same as here, because the second one is 3.64 into e power minus 37, that is 0, and the next is minus 2.585 plus 34.3I. So yes, the second set of A1R, A1I gives you minus the same, and this is till 16. So the 17th output should be the same as this first set of B1R, B1I. So the 17th output is given over here. This is the 18th output because it's column 13 to 18, and this is the 17th output, that is minus 2 plus 0I. Yes, minus 1.99 is minus 2 plus 0 it is because e power minus 38. So yes, the next one is 18, yes, minus 2.585 plus 6.6366, yes. So this is how the correctness of FFT is verified. Thank you.